Well, hello everybody. Today we're going to go in a little bit of a different direction. I think you all remember Tootie. Well, Tootie needs a haircut. Now, we've taken Tootie a couple of times to a groomer. We can't afford that anymore, so we went and got ourselves some grooming clippers, and we're going to probably chop the heck out of her, but we're going to be able to do it all ourselves. But right now, I've got a new task. The new task that was presented to me by you-know-who is to take that little poly table and turn it into a grooming table with scrap material that we have around the house. So, hang on. We're going to do some thinking. We're going to do some engineering and some planning and probably some mistaking, but we're going to do the best that we can to turn that into a grooming table that is approximately 12 inches taller than what it is now. Here we go. Now, the first thing I did was I measured this poly table top. This poly tabletop is 18 inches across this way and 26 inches that way. Mrs. Stedhomer asked me if there was any way possible that I could make this tabletop, grooming tabletop, a little bigger. So I, of course, said, sure, without realizing I don't really have a piece of wood that size that I can use. Yes, granted, I have some plywood back here, but it's treated wood, and I just don't want to use that for something like this. So I came up with this. This is a piece of 3/4 inch plywood, and it is 16 inches wide. Now, 16 inches wide, not the same as the 18 on that table, but if I take and cut this, and you can see the mark right there, exactly 20 inches. Okay, and then I cut another piece, 20 inches, and I butt these two together, clamp them, glue them, whatever, to make them all one piece. I can actually make a tabletop 20 inches wide by 32 inches wide, or long, or whatever you want to call it. That should be more than enough material to do that. Now, with that being said, I have got to have some type of support wood under it. I have to have legs to raise it up the foot that I need to raise it up to get it to the height that she said she wanted. So we go to our scrap pile of lumber that we collected when we were out here a couple years ago tearing furniture apart and trying to salvage the wood. We have two nice pieces. All of this, I believe, is poplar or pine. Two nice pieces that can help join those two together. I went out, and yes, there's a few pieces of this. There's 1/4 inch, or excuse me, 1x4s that I used on the drywall lift. Here's some more salvaged wood. I still have staples in it, and I'll take that. If I need that board, I'll have to take the staples out, and a piece of 1x3. Now, this 1x3 piece is actually initially came with this plywood and a few more that I have down here in the bottom that was a bunch of shelves that I was able to obtain and salvage. So anyway, that's the material that we have. Forgot. Harbor Freight Stress Relief floor pads. And if you really look at it real close, you can see it had little bumps on it. So we can glue this onto the top. It also has, as you can see, where you can join it here with another piece, and there's another piece laying behind it. And with those bumps, so I can join them together, glue them down, trim them to the size of this, and this would be a good place for her to stand. I think you can see I've brought clamps, so I can clamp this in place and keep it right where I want it. I've decided to go up here on the tabletop itself with the 1x3s. I have 4 of them that will sit here, right there on each corner. That'll be my legs. I have 2 of them that will sit right here like this. That will be what my legs attach to keep them in. I have 3 of these which will fit right in here along the edge. 1 here, 1 over here, and then a smaller one that'll fit in the middle. And that is what will keep the 2 panels tight together. When all of this is done, then I will work on what I'm going to have up here on top of these legs so that it'll be solid and be able to connect to the polypaper. Okay, like so many others, I was just going on and on and on about this to realize that I ran out of battery, and I've got quite a bit done since then. So let me take you around real quick and show you what we've got done here. I not only have I put the foot here, but I've added another piece. Now, you're going to see why. You see the arches that are drawn, and over here too. That's what I'm going to get to next. That's what I'm going to call my locking device. Okay. Well, we've got it flipped over. We glued the top. I didn't want to bore you all with all of that. And what I did is I took a piece of plywood that I found, an old piece of scrap plywood, cut it to the same size, and I drilled 15 holes in it. So when I glued the pad down and I laid it on there, then I laid this on top of it, and I have 15 screws squeezing it together. Now, if this works anything like what happened when I built my stilts that I used over in Mrs. Stedhomer's room, when I pull them screws out, you're not even going to be able to see the holes. Has anybody figured out what he's doing next? Or doing now, let's put it that way. I think everybody understands this. Got that all cut out, and that table sits perfectly right inside there. But why did I add another board here? And here. Huh. Sounds like a dilemma to me. I'm sure the next thing I do is going to tell everybody exactly what I'm doing. Went over and knocked on the door of my lovely bride's she shack, and I asked her if she could possibly help out here. I needed a few items. And she gave them to me. But she didn't have enough of one, but she did have enough that we were able to put together exactly what we need. And they say, aha! Now we're understanding what he's up to. Because you see, I can only fool you so long, they say. We got them cut loose. I finally got the blade changed on my reciprocator to the metal one, and I was able to cut through these tips of the screws. Now, it's not the most glorious, but then again, I haven't spent the most amount of time. It has enough spring in it, as you can see here, that it should hold it tight to that table. At least long enough for me to get the clamps clamped here. So, with this folded down and that folded down, it has made a difference in its profile. It will make it a lot easier to store. I have some small bungees that I'll throw around here to hold it together. Matter of fact, I have a whole little jar of them. So the next thing we got to do is flip it over and start working on the top part of it. I went online and good old standby YouTube. Started doing some searching and researching, and there was a gentleman on YouTube that described a grooming arm, and I said, you know, that I can do that. That makes sense. So there it is. Now what this is basically electrical conduit with an eye bolt and a piece of leash. That is all this is. To get these, which are 14 by 1s, they'll probably stick through a little bit on the other side, but you know that ain't gonna be but a trivial thing. And I do believe that with these 4 screws sunk in, Duty ain't gonna be able to move them. We might even try this out on her. As I said before, all I have to do now, or we, is put that in there. Screw this in there. And there we go. Now, let's take this down. And let's put it on the table over here and see just how this can work. And it works like that. Now my plan was to take these clamps and clamp this to the table. I'm gonna go grab me a Tootie and I'm gonna bring her back along with the Mama Stay-at-Homer, and we're gonna see how this thing looks and how she fits underneath it. We'll be back in a flash. Okay, we're getting ready. Mama said she'd be over, and I think you can all see why. Now we got to do something here with this. It's about the right size for her, isn't it? You like that, Mama?
Yep. That will work.
figure out how to keep that from turning too much, but then again, we're not going to be leaving her. She knows this is where she sits to get herself beautified.
Yeah.
Cool beans.
Looks good.
Now, you gotta see this, Mom. You haven't seen this yet. And when we're all done, she folds up and ready for storage.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to use some of those little bungee cords over there to bungee this together.
Hang it.
And we'll probably have it hanging somewhere in here probably. So,
Awesome.
from beginning to end, and a whole lot of editing, I believe, because I got way too much footage for this. That's how I built a grooming table for little Tootie that sits on top of this poly table. Say goodbye, Tootie.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Nice to stay at homer. Thank you all for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed the trip. Don't forget to give us thumbs up, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends. It might not be a good idea to go tell your local dog groomer because this could cost them a bunch of money. It's going to save us a bunch of money, I'll guarantee you. Thanks for stopping by again. Y'all have a blessed, blessed day. We'll catch you the next time. Bye-bye.